What's going on, guys? Your boy Amazing. We're back with another video, and in today's video, guys, me going over the SKOLL and Hati new quote-unquote best team for SKOLL and Hati here, guys. Shout out to Dorichan. I think he was the one who made the video about how this is his new favorite best team for SKOLL and Hati. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to take this team into SKOLL and Hati myself and see how well this team is able to perform. So if you have these characters built, I would recommend this team. Obviously you're probably gonna need like dupes on a lot of the characters. You don't necessarily need like too many dupes on like Freyr per se, or Thonar, or even like King. I think you mainly need them on Skadi for the heal. But like that's like the only real thing I would recommend you really need if you want to test out this comp. But yeah, man, this is the team comp. I show a little bit of the gear as well. So when we actually load in, I do see, I think I do show the gear. So we have attack crit damage on Freyr, HP defense on Skadi, attack crit damage on King, and attack crit resistance on Thonar there. I'm probably going to change out the crit resistance pieces on Thonar to like crit damage. Because I think like if I have a King shield up anyway, she's not going to be taking damage. And so I don't necessarily think I need the crit resistance gear. So I'm probably going to change that a little bit later. But yeah, and then those are the substitute gears, and then that's going to be the card set right there. So we hop into the first floor of SKOLL and Hati. SKOLL and Hati, as you guys know, is the most difficult demonic beast out at the moment. You basically need a Freyr or a Green Molassula or a Skadi separately, and really strong supporting characters with those characters specifically. But with this team, we're actually running both Skadi and Freyr, so it's a little bit different. I wouldn't necessarily recommend this team for any like newer people trying to get into SKOLL and Hati. If you guys need a team like that, I would recommend for like newer or not even newer players, but like, you know, long-term players but that don't have like too much, I would recommend the King Bond team. That's definitely like the best team for like a free-to-play-ish player in my opinion. But it obviously can change, you know. So yeah, so right here we're just taking damage. We put up the King shield. We're doing okay, you know what I mean? Like the first like little bit of cards we get off, we're not to really worry about. But I think the total time for this SKOLL and Hati one was about 18 minutes. So that's pretty good, man. Considering this team is able to clear in 18 minutes the whole SKOLL and Hati, that's really good actually, if you think about it. Yeah, so right there, we do actually use double Skadi card, and you guys can see I have Skadi Holy Relic. Would I say you need Skadi Holy Relic for this? Probably. I have not tested without SKOLL and Hati or without Skadi Holy Relic. But it looks like it does help a lot, especially for her damage specifically. So I would recommend, if you guys are attempting this, like, you know, after you've used like the Bond King team and you want to change it up a little bit and you have Skadi built with some dupes, then definitely at that point I would recommend actually, you know, using her Holy Relic on her and then giving this team a try. Like, it's actually really good. I think this team is not the most consistent team, but it's the most like quick. It's definitely the most quick team that I've like tested out in terms of SKOLL and Hati. Because a lot of the other teams, like, they're not necessarily quick, but they get the job done. Like the King Bond team, not quick at all, but it gets the job done, man. You're able to clear all 3 floors. Whereas this team is just like, drop all the damage I can, try and clear as fast as I can. And yeah, like, there's not like too much I need to really worry about. But yeah, so we dropped the King card right there on the second phase here of SKOLL and Hati floor 1. And then we dropped the remove buff card there with Skadi. You can see how much damage it's doing. Like, I'm on HP defense on Skadi with no outfits, by the way. Like, I have like the Hawk Pass outfit, and I think that's about it. But I don't have too much like investment in terms of my Skadi, so I think that's really, really good, man. The fact that I'm able to do that is pretty crazy. So yeah, Holy Relic Skadi though is probably a must for this, especially if you're trying to clear quicker. And obviously the card set, as you guys know, is definitely a must for this team as well, if you are trying to clear consistently. But yeah, this is gonna be probably my team. Like, when they announce that SKOLL and Hati can be farmable, I'm probably just gonna use this team, just because of how, like, you know, quick it is and able to, you know, beat the fight. But yeah, let's see. So right here we have all my ultimates going into this final phase right here. And so you guys know this final phase of SKOLL and Hati, you have to kill them both within the same turn or they're gonna full heal. So I was like, okay, we'll hold on to the Freyr ultimate. We'll waste the rest of the ultimates basically. We could also hold on to the Thonar one. But we use the Skadi and the King one just to get it out of the hand, and also to deal a good amount of AoE damage there. And then the following turn, I'm able to actually kill. And yeah, not too bad, not too bad. It actually did work out for the better. But yeah, so we do the single target there with Freyr. The Dark Wolf is super low, but that's okay, because when we start attacking into the White Wolf, we can get him super low as well, and then we'll finish it off with the Freyr ultimate right there. And that's going to be floor 1, you know, fairly quickly, right? Like, that was what, like 5 minutes? Almost 5 minutes, right? By the time my turn is done, it'll be like almost 5 minutes, which is pretty crazy. But yeah. Right there, we dropped the Thonar ultimate, King shield up, and then we drop the Freyr ultimate, and that's going to be wraps right there. Easy floor 1. But yeah, it wasn't too bad. I think floor 1 on this fight was pretty easy. If you're trying to clear like only floor 1, not a bad team at all actually. Not a bad team. Definitely a really good team. Moving into the second floor though, this is where it starts to ramp up in terms of the difficulty. This is where like you want to have a lot of really strong gear, or you're gonna be kind of lacking, especially on this first phase right here. The first phase of SKOLL and Hati on floor 2 is a lot more tanky than you would think. There's gonna be the thing is between this phase compared to the first one is that look how much damage I'm doing on my Skadi right there. Like, that's not a lot of damage. 16k on the rank 1 right there, when on the first floor I was probably doing like what? Let's just see. I'm curious to see. Let me just see how much damage I was doing with Skadi right there. So this is floor 1 Skadi damage. Let's see. Yeah, let's let that play out. Let's see. Yeah, like 11k per hit, right? And then I'm doing total 47k. And then on this part of the fight, okay, so we're back on this part of the fight. Right, like, you know, my Skadi is just not doing as much damage. So this is where you definitely want to have a lot better gear if you are trying to go past the floor 2 and even into the floor 3. And, you know, RNG is going to come into play as well. It's definitely going to be a factor. But, you know, it is what it is. A lot of the teams for SKOLL and Hati are RNG reliant regardless. So there isn't really, like, much you can do to, you know, bypass it. But the card set's definitely a big help because it makes it so that you can't get frozen when you have your ultimate. That's definitely a really good way to kind of cuck the RNG against you. And yeah, I mean, King is also able to cleanse debuffs on his ultimate too. I don't think you necessarily need dupes on your King because there's damage cap on this fight. I think like a 1/6 King would probably still get the job done, in my opinion at least. Like, obviously my 6/6 King's gonna do a lot more damage on the left wolf to make the shield stronger, but you'll still do enough to make your shield strong enough, in my opinion. But right here I was kind of contemplating like what I was gonna do here, but I decided I would drop the King ultimate, drop the ultimate there with Thonar, and then we'll move Freyr and so I reset. So we do that. We just waste Freyr card and then we waste Skadi card right there as well. So drop the King ultimate. It does a really good amount of damage, 700k. Thonar ultimate does almost damage cap, or that might be damage cap. And then we finish off with Freyr. I probably should have attacked there with Skadi, but it's okay. We didn't necessarily need to attack there, but it would have helped for sure. But yeah, moving into the second phase here, I was like, okay, we got a pretty good hand because I was able to get the rank 2 King, rank 1 King, and then I can also get the ultimate on Freyr. And I only need 1 card to get the ultimate on Skadi, so I was like, okay, this is pretty good. This is shaping up to be a pretty good second floor. So the only thing I really had to worry about on this floor was, you know, if the, you know, the dog here would go for the freeze on one of the characters I don't have an ultimate on, like King. Right, but I think we were okay. I don't think he went for the freeze. We were fine, I think, yeah. Goes to the single target onto my Freyr, goes to the AoE. And then he drops the debuff here, and then I think this is where he goes for the freeze. Yeah, so he gets the freeze on Skadi, which is very unfortunate because then I lost my debuffs. But we were able to get her, you know, back up and running. Once we get her ult, she gets cleansed automatically. So I wasn't necessarily worried about that specifically, but I knew this turn I had to kill this phase. So I was like, okay, you know, we'll get King ultimate, we'll get Skadi ultimate, we'll drop the ultimate with Freyr. We have to get the kill this phase. So I was willing to let the Freyr ultimate go that phase and just get the kill. But yeah, we got the Skadi freed out of the the freeze right there. Oh my god, I'm stumbling upon my words. But yeah, and then we got this passive right here. Good passive. By the way, my first passive was really good. This passive is also very good. I think this is best case scenario passives. So it's very nice, man. Working out in terms of like the passives that I was getting. But yeah, literally we just drop our strongest damage dealing cards right here. We drop the King ultimate, gonna hit double damage cap. We drop the Skadi ultimate, almost double damage cap. And we drop the Freyr single target right there, followed up with the cleave card with him as well. And that's going to actually finish off the Dark Wolf in one turn. Very, very cool. So we didn't even need a Freyr ultimate, which is crazy, right? Like, it goes to show, you don't necessarily need 6/6 Freyr. Like, obviously, it's helping me throughout the fight. But if you get better RNG, if you have better cards, you know, dealing more damage with your cards in general, like, you're not necessarily going to need it. Right, and so this turn I was like, okay, let me push for the Skadi ultimate here just so that I can full heal the team. We don't have a King card, so I wasn't able to protect the team. But I was like, okay, if we can get the Skadi ultimate, then that means I'm able to heal up the team even if we take a good amount of damage. So right here, you know, we're starting to take some damage there. Unfortunately, the dog is actually doing a lot. And one thing I did notice as well is that maybe I didn't need Red Tarmiel Link on my Thonar. You know what I mean? Like, Thonar definitely could have used it, but Freyr was getting targeted a lot more than my Thonar was throughout the fight. But yeah, it is just something to take into account. But I would probably recommend keeping the Red Tarmiel Link on Thonar though, just to be safe. But yeah, so we drop the ultimate. We get the full heal on basically everybody, right? It fully heals, and we're able to be at full health going into floor 3. So loading into floor 3 now. Floor 3 did take me, I think, like 2-3 attempts. But that was only because I just didn't get King cards, man. If you don't get King cards, these runs can be a little bit rough. But in general, it's not too bad. It's definitely not too bad as like, you know, it's not as bad as like the King Bond team where you literally need one. Like with this team, you don't necessarily need a King card. It's just you're at risk of dying. That's the only like scary thing I'd say about it. But other than that, like, you're fine, right? But yeah, so you guys see in my starting hand here, I had to switch up the way I did it. So I actually did Freyr single target and then double Skadi card there, instead of waiting till we got another non debuff Skadi card so that we could get the 3 all stats. But I decided not going for that, and we're just like ripping it now, just to get as strong enough of a shield as I could. But yeah, you guys can see, as I was saying, like, the dog is targeting Freyr, even though my Freyr does not have the least amount of HP right now. I think the least amount of HP is my Thonar. So I guess it's just like who you position on the far left. I don't know. I could be wrong. But maybe the character you put on the far left is the one that gets targeted as priority. It could be. But yeah, so we dropped the Freyr card right there. We dropped the Skadi card as well. We're doing good amount of damage here. Already got into half health on the first phase. But the problem is we need to be set up for second phase to where we're able to kill within 2 turns and we don't have to stay long. Because that's going to be one of the biggest issues of SKOLL and Hati is, you know, staying alive and not getting frozen on floor 2, floor 3. So that's going to be very important. So yeah, I was like, okay, we'll King card there. We'll do the cancel stance, follow up with the single target Freyr. And I was like, okay, we can do... probably just waste another King card or the Thonar card there. So we just waste the Thonar. But yeah, not too bad. Go for the cancel stance. Remember, this phase, guys, you have to remove the stance or you can't deal damage on the boss. It's a priority to go for the boss and like make sure you have cancel stance. That's why having Thonar and Freyr is so nice, because you have double characters that can remove stance if need be, right? So that's where it can be definitely super beneficial. But yeah, so goes to the single target. You know, we're taking a little bit of damage here. This is what I mean where you need a really strong King. Like, a lot of attack on your King, man. As much as you can get, you know what I mean? That would be like, priority. But, yeah, so I was like, okay, we'll drop the ultimate there with King. We follow up with Skadi non-debuff card so that we get another all-stat stack. Because if you guys don't know, Holy Relic Skadi makes it so that she gets all stats, like, up to 3 times, right, when you do not have debuffs and you're attacking. So right there, we did get the final all stats right there, and we actually do finish off the first phase of the final floor of SKOLL and Hati right there. 390k with King AoE, rank 2, very nice. Yeah, moving into the next phase here. My Thonar gets frozen, which is best case scenario, or it would have procced on Freyr, but Freyr already had ultimate. That probably would have been, you know, the best case scenario, quote unquote, but it was fine. Like, I didn't necessarily need Thonar this turn. I was a little bit, you know, disappointed that my king was dissolved, though. That is very unfortunate, but there wasn't necessarily anything I could do there, right? I don't have a cleanse, I don't have anything to bypass it, so I was like, okay, we'll just waste cards. And I wanted to see who had more attack at the end there, and I was like, okay, Freyr definitely has more attack, so we'll follow up with the Freyr card instead of the Skadi card, even though she has so much all stats. It's just not enough to beat out Freyr, man, with the attack card damage. But yeah. Follow up here, we actually kill within, you know, the turn, which is crazy. So we had enough damage to kill within the turn there, and I was going into the final phase with no ultimate. It's a little bit scary. But we did actually get this passive right here, and you guys might be wondering, amazing, isn't that the passive where it taunts and you get lowered attack? This is actually a very, very good passive with this team because Skadi gets targeted no matter what, because she's always going to have the highest all stats on the field, right? And the buffs for her all stats cannot be removed, so she's always going to be the one taunted. So right there, I was like, okay, this is where I can take advantage of this, get King ultimate, get Thonar ultimate, and we can start to build up the Freyr ultimate on the following turn. So we waste the King cards right here, and we also waste the Thonar cards as well. And this is where, like, floor 3 final phase is very, very scary, man, because you don't know if you're just going to get completely one-shot on your character. But luckily, since we have the taunt passive, they're only going to target Skadi, and I'm not too worried about Skadi right now, right? I'm definitely not too worried. Like, look, we tanked that with the shield. Like, we have the damage reduction, we have the all stats still. So even though he's taunted on us, we're fine, right? We're fine. So we do lose the shield there. And we do take a good amount of damage. Yeah, maybe Red Tarmiel Link is the way to go on Thonar. She took a lot there, man. But yeah, I made sure to check Thonar's passive, so we're at 1 stack, so I need to do 2 cards so that my Freyr gets the stat increase. So I was like, okay, let's drop the King ultimate, let's drop the Thonar ultimate, merge Freyr, and drop his card as well, so we have his ultimate going into this next part. And that's what we're going to need for the damage for sure. Because if we didn't have that card, we actually would have been screwed. But this is where a 6/6 Freyr does come in clutch, I will say, because he does actually live that, which I thought he was gonna die, but the dog does live that, unfortunately for me. And because of that, it actually did cuck us a little bit. I had to basically nuke the white dog this turn, because he did put up the taunt and I didn't have a buff removal. I was like, okay. I completely forgot though that he had the taunt. I was trying to target the Dark Wolf. But yeah, I literally just dropped all my strongest cards, had to deal as much damage as we could, and I was just, you know, ripping all my strongest cards, and it actually did work out for the better. We did get the kill on the White Wolf, so it worked out, but the Dark Wolf was the one that was alive after this, and it became a threat as well, so it can become a little bit scary for sure, but, you know, it is what it is, man. In general, like, I don't know how he tanked that, though. I don't know how he tanked that ultimate, though. I literally did no damage. It's because Skadi was, like, attack down. But yeah, the attack down actually did move to my Freyr there, which is kind of weird. I didn't expect it to move to my Freyr, because I guess the blessing buff that he got kind of directed that away from him. And we also did kill one of the dogs already, so we didn't necessarily have to worry about that. We're at 2 stacks as well on the what's it called? On the Thonar passive right there. And so I was like, okay, let's just try and deal as much damage as we can. Hopefully we get the kill with this card setup. But unfortunately we actually don't get the kill here, and I was thinking to reset right here. I was thinking to actually reset, but the dog just did not do a ton of damage on me. Like, you guys will see. Like, the damage I was expecting to take, like, I let it rock. The damage I was expecting to take was like a lot more than he actually did. But because he attacked into Skadi on the first hit there, like, everyone was actually tanking fairly well. So we lived, and then we killed this following turn right here. So I was like, okay, man, easy W right here, because we have the Thonar ultimate. You guys can see my Thonar ultimate is only, you know, 2 out of 6. Yeah, so no, Thonar buffs her ultimate by 200% in her passive. So no matter if it's weak point or not, rank, like, you know, 1 out of 6, whatever the case, like, it's still going to deal a ton of damage. Like, watch this. We drop the Thonar ultimate, boom, 383k, easy kill as damage cap. And we do actually clear the SKOLL and Hati, guys. So this is the team right here. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Are you going to be testing out this team? And do you think this is the new best SKOLL and Hati team? Dora-chan says so. And I can kind of agree with him. It is fairly consistent. But I don't know if it's necessarily the best team, quote unquote. It's gonna be up for debate, obviously, but yeah, man, that's gonna be it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe as always. If you guys want to see more videos like this, definitely let me know in the comment section below, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day.